We're wearing a wig today, that's right. What is going on everyone there on YouTube? Welcome back to another fantastic video. So today I was working on some cosplay things and I realized, wow, there's a lot that I really hate doing for cosplay. So because I'm in a ranting mood, I thought I would share with you the top 5 things that I hate doing for cosplay. So let's start with item number 5. So invisible zippers, doesn't seem that hard, right? Well, to be fair, it's not. Invisible zippers are actually pretty easy to put in once you know how. So why do I hate them so much? I have installed so many invisible zippers in my lifetime. So I've been making my own costumes for almost 2 years now, so a decently long time. So 9 times out of 10, I will probably use an invisible zipper as my method of closure. Why? Well, different from normal zippers and buttons, invisible zippers actually hide in a seam. So they're almost invisible, so they blend right in with your costume and you can barely tell that they're even there. But I have done this so many times in my life. Like when you're sewing those zippers in, you need to make sure you get right up to those teeth or else it's gonna show. You're gonna see it. And also because they look nicer, they're of course not as strong as normal zippers are. They break a lot. I think I went through 8 invisible zippers trying to make my boots for Link. Like 8. I don't know, you guys. I really hate putting in invisible zippers. Number 4. So leather is one of those fabrics that I absolutely love to use in my costumes because it adds some shine, it adds a unique texture, and it looks accurate to a lot of like leather pieces like belts or pouches. And I think it's a nice fabric that looks good on camera. I really do. But trying to sew with it just is not a fun thing to do. So you need to get all the special needles in the non-stick feet, and even if you have those, leather is super sticky. Like it has that finish that makes it stick on like the bottom of like your foot. I've tried a Teflon foot. I've tried leather needles. Doesn't help. And also because I'm super color picky, I paint my own leather for my costumes a lot of times. And I usually do that before I sew it. So what do I have to do? I have to sew with painted leather, which is stickier than the normal stuff. For example, I have Link's boots right here that I just finished making, and these have like a leather cuff on them now. I top stitched this cuff. I had to drag it through my machine. Like I had to be pulling it to make it work. I digress. Let's move on. Speaking of making things with leather, now I'm someone that's super picky about little details like shoes. So if I go on eBay and they don't have the right boots for my character, or they're just so inaccurate, or I just think they look bad, I'm not gonna buy them. I have to make my own boot covers. And most of the characters that I have in my cosplays right now, they have very specific boots. Like Link, for example. Here's one of his boots right here. I had to get a pair of boots off of eBay. Then I had to make a pattern over said boots with tape, which takes forever, and you have to like cut those darts into it so it, you know, flays flat, and you actually have to worry about getting your foot in the boot, so you have to add a zipper. Again, invisible zippers, people! I broke so many zippers trying to sew these boots and get them to zip up and down, but they work. You wouldn't believe how long I spent looking at boots on eBay for Link, and I've only made 2 pairs of boots in my life. I'm good if I never do it again. I really am. So sometimes when I'm making a costume, there's a design that is just too complex to have to applique on there that I'm just like, let's paint it. Why not? Well, let me tell you something. Painting details on fabric is 1, messy, 2, time consuming, and 3, even if you use masking tape, you are not guaranteed that your paint will not bleed underneath your tape. You would not believe how much fabric I had to go through sometimes because of how the paint seeps under tape. It is amazing. Back when I made Victor's jacket from Yuri on Ice a couple months ago, that was probably the most stressful thing I've ever done. I had white fabric that I had to paint on when the garment was pretty much already finished, so if I messed up, then I had to start over. Thankfully I didn't, but if I did, I would have cried and probably never have finished that costume. So recently I've started using this stuff called heat transfer vinyl. Basically, you cut out your shape, then you iron it on like t-shirt transfers, but it looks like fabric paint, just really smooth and nice and great. Now I have no problem with painting like an entire piece of leather one color, but when I have to put in little details, no. No. Alright, so now that we've gotten most of our anger out, let's move on to item number 1 on our list. I'm sure a lot of you also feel my struggle here. When you're working with material like Worbla, or insulation foam, or wood, or really most materials that you use to make props with, they involve a lot of sanding to make them look good. And sanding, in my honest opinion, is probably one of the most time-consuming, tedious things you have to do for cosplay. Because all these characters from anime and video games have to have perfectly smooth weapons. I'm looking at you, Link. Like when I made my Master Sword for Colossal Con, I didn't even bother sanding it. I was like, no, screw it. I'm not gonna sand that Worbla. Now, did I regret that decision? Yes, but did I have the time in my con crunch budget to sand it? No, I didn't. There's no worse feeling than when you feel like you're done sanding, then you spray a layer of primer on whatever you're sanding, and you see, oh, I'm not done. That's for damn sure. It makes a huge mess. You have to inhale all that stuff unless you're wearing a mask. Well, let's be honest. How many of us really wear a mask when we sand all the time? But sanding, just, definitely my least favorite thing that I have to do in cosplay. So now that I've gotten all of my anger out, let's just chill, cool down. Alright, so that was my top 5 things that I hate doing for cosplay. If you have anything that you really hate doing for cosplay as well, leave that in the comments below or tweet me or send me a message on Instagram, anything like that works. Make sure to hit that like button if this video was relatable at all, or you just kind of feel me, you know, like you feel me? Alright you guys, so I hope you have a great day. Please be kind to yourselves and don't do things that you hate all the time. I'll see you all later. Bye!